Mazda doesn't just make stylish crossovers, they build them to go the distance without falling apart on you. I've dug into the real reliability numbers for every 2024 and 2025 Mazda SUV, and let's just say that quite a number of them are actually rock solid. Hello everyone, this is Scott from CarlandTV. It's time to hop in the front seat, because today I'm ranking every Mazda SUV from the least to most reliable, based on real-world data, long-term ownership reports, and the kind of stuff you only find out after a few thousand miles behind the wheel. Before I start, I would really appreciate it if you would push those buttons below. The subscribe button, the notification bell, all of them. This is not necessary, but those little clicks help a brother out. Plus, it pushes me to give you more valuable car-related content on your screen. Now, buckle up and let's get back to the video. 2025 Mazda CX90. Mazda's been trying to edge into premium territory for years, and with the 2025 CX90, they didn't just show up. They walked in swinging like they belonged. I took one out for a few days, one that has a loaded trim and features an inline-six turbo. And let me tell you, this thing isn't just a pretty face. It's got the bones of a real-deal long hauler. You know how some SUVs feel fancy for the first 5,000 miles and then start falling apart like cheap folding chairs? This ain't that. The CX90 feels engineered to take a beating and still look damn good doing it. First off, the heart of this beast is Mazda's all-new 3.3-liter inline-six with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. It's smooth, torquey, up to 369 pound-feet on the high-output version, and it actually pulls like a six-cylinder should. The 8-speed automatic isn't some slushy, confused gearbox either. It's snappy, especially in sport mode, and paired with the standard I-Active all-wheel drive, you get grip and power down without any issue. I ran it through rain and twisties, and it never once felt twitchy or unsure. Build-wise, the CX90 feels tight. It's sitting on Mazda's new large platform with a longitudinal engine layout, which is a big deal if you know anything about handling and balance. It's not just some fancy feature. The weight distribution and road feel are better than most SUVs this size. And the high-tensile steel chassis is definitely solid. No flex, no weird rattles, even over rough stretches. Inside, you've got Napa leather, real maple trim, and that classic Mazda attention to detail. Switches feel solid, tech works without glitching out, and nothing in here screams budget cut. Safety tech's all there, from lane keep and full-speed radar cruise down auto braking, all calibrated well, not overly quirky or hard to navigate. Yeah, it had a few early teething issues, some software bugs, sensor hiccups, but Mazda's been on top of patches and updates, so you can expect that its latest model can now run without bothering you. Of course, this means that the 2025 CX90 isn't just the start of a new chapter of Mazda. It's also powerful, refined, and feels like it was built to go the distance, not just turn heads at a stoplight. I'd trust it for long drives without zero hesitation. 2025 Mazda CX70. Mazda took a big swing with the 2025 CX70, and honestly, it feels like they've finally cracked the code for what a modern midsize SUV should be. This thing's not just reliable. It's smartly built, balanced, and tuned like someone at Mazda still believes in driver-first engineering. I drove the CX70 Turbo S Premium Plus for a full weekend run. City commutes, open highway, a bit of gravel, and it didn't blink once. It feels like a crossover built with the same obsessive attention to detail you'd expect from a high-end tool chest or a well-broken-in gun that cycles clean every single time. Under the hood, the CX70 packs the same longitudinal 3.3-liter inline-six that Mazda introduced in the CX90. And let me tell you, this thing's a torque monster. 369 pound-feet when running premium fuel, backed by a 48-volt mild hybrid system that smooths out starts and fills in the low-end gaps. Paired with an 8-speed automatic and full-time I-Active AWD, you've got a drivetrain that never feels strained or sloppy. Shifts are clean, throttle response is sharp, and the balance of the RWD-based platform keeps the body roll in check, even when you push it into on-ramps like it's smaller than it is. Mazda nailed the interior too. Napa leather, real maple trim, and a 12.3-inch center display that doesn't lag or distract. No flashy light shows or overstyled garbage, just clean, well-fitted materials that won't fall apart after 2 years of family use. Cabin noise is low, seat bolstering is tight but comfy, and the controls feel like they were built to last. Even the safety tech, radar cruise, lane keep, blind spot monitors just works. No false alarms or phantom warnings. Now, being a first-year model, I expected some quirks. A couple of early reviewers mentioned some infotainment weirdness and overly firm seats, but I didn't run into either during my drive. And from a mechanical standpoint, zero complaints. Mazda's clearly taken the lessons from the CX90's launch and refined things here. If you're looking for a midsize SUV that doesn't just promise reliability but feels damn reliable in your hands, the CX70's the one to watch. 2025 Mazda CX30. Mazda's always had this almost rebellious streak. They don't chase trends after all. They refine what works. And the CX30 is their compact crossover answer to the bigger is better noise the market's been making. I got my hands on the 2025 model a few weeks back, and after a few hundred miles, I realized this little rig punches way above its weight. It doesn't take up much space, but damn, it's reliable, precise, and doesn't mess up under pressure. The 2025 CX30 runs Mazda's bread-and-butter 2.5-liter CX50 engine, and it feels buttery smooth from a cold start to full throttle. The naturally aspirated version pushes 191 horsepower with 186 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty for a subcompact SUV. No turbo issue, no CVT lag, just a traditional 6-speed automatic that grabs each gear like it means it. That gearbox is part of why this thing's so dependable. Less complexity, fewer weak points, and it's been proven over years of real-world use. Out on the road, it handles like a smaller Mazda should. It got tight steering, responsive brakes, and a chassis made from high-tensile steel that feels like it was engineered by people who actually like driving. The iActive all-wheel drive system is smarter than you'd expect in this price bracket. I took it through some sketchy back roads after a light rain, and it kept traction like a champ. No fishtailing, no hesitation. Mazda didn't go wild with interior gimmicks in the CX30. The cabin is clean, practical, and the materials feel more premium than what you usually get in this segment. Controls are solid, no creaks or wobbly knobs, and even the infotainment doesn't glitch out like I've seen in some newer competitors. I've seen folks hit 80,000 plus miles on earlier models with barely more than oil changes and tire swaps. If you're looking for something that's easy to live with and tough as nails under the skin, the CX30 is one of the few small SUVs I'd bet money on for the long haul. It doesn't need to shout to prove it's dependable, it just is. 2025 Mazda CX50. You know how some trucks just feel like they were built by desk jockeys who've never turned a wrench? Yeah, this ain't that. The 2025 Mazda CX50 feels like it came from a crew that actually takes their rigs off the pavement once in a while. I took this thing out on a weekend trip. Half asphalt, half loose gravel and mud. And I'll tell you straight, this crossover punches above its weight in reliability and real-world confidence. It's a little overbuilt and made to take a beating without flinching. The heart of it is that 2.5-liter CX50 inline-4 engine. It comes in a base trim that gives you a dependable 187 horses, or a turbocharged version that'll push up to 256 horses if you feed it premium fuel. No fake-feeling CVT nonsense either. Mazda's stuck with a 6-speed automatic that just works. You can feel the gears hook in, and it doesn't hunt, doesn't slip, and doesn't make you second-guess a hard throttle punch. That alone puts it ahead of most new-school compact SUVs pretending to be trail-capable. Mazda's iActive all-wheel drive isn't gimmicky either. It's got sensors pulling data faster than you can blink, and the system adjusts torque so well, you barely notice the road's changed until you're already through the sketchy part. Even the chassis underneath, made with high-tensile steel, is stiff enough to feel like a true unibody rig, not something cobbled together to save cost. No creaks, no flex, and just planted. Honestly, the interior is damn near luxury for the price. Leather-trimmed seats that don't wear out like cheap vinyl, a cockpit that doesn't rattle after a few thousand miles, and switchgear that feels like it was designed for real-world use, not just showroom gloss. After logging real miles, I'd trust the CX50 to get me where I'm going and still be tight 5 years down the line. If you want a crossover that's reliable enough to live hard without falling apart, this one's a real contender. 2025 Mazda CX5. Mazda didn't reinvent the wheel with the 2025 CX5, but they damn sure perfected how it rolls. I've had my hands on plenty of crossovers, and what separates the CX5 from the pack isn't some flashy tech or space-age design. It's the way it just works. Every time. It feels like that old Glock 19 sitting in your nightstand. It's clean, reliable, and won't let you down when things get gritty. That's the CX5. No nonsense, just tight engineering that's built to last. Under the hood, you've got the tried-and-tested 2.5-liter Sky Active G inline-4. The naturally aspirated version is enough to get you where you're going smooth and steady, but if you want a little more grunt, the turbo version cranks out up to 256 horsepower with premium gas. What I love, though, is that it has no CVT. Mazda stuck with a 6-speed automatic that feels crisp and strong. I've seen CVTs fail early under stress. This thing's old school in the best way, and it shifts with purpose. It's got that same dependable feel you get when driving a Toyota or a Honda. Driving it, you feel the body rigidity Mazda baked into the chassis. They used high-tensile steel in key areas, so you don't get flex or sloppy handling like you do in some plasticky competitors. It holds a line, grips well with iActive all-wheel drive, and even when I tossed it around wet corners, it didn't blink. Inside, you'd swear you were in something German. The Nappa leather, tight stitching, and solid switchgear just scream quality. Even the infotainment feels less gimmick and more get it done. Bottom line here is that I'd trust the 2025 CX5 for a cross-country haul with no backup. The powertrain's proven, the chassis is tight, and the fit and finish tell you this thing was built to age well. It's not just reliable on paper, it's reliable in the real world. Like that one tool in your garage you'd never replace.